All right, good afternoon. My name is Eileen Zarnecki, and I am the principal of Hoover Elementary, which is a K-2 building. In just a moment, we'll introduce ourselves. You guys are in the front row, no problem. What I will tell you, I just came from the Forget-Me-Not session. Was anyone in that session? So that was packed, number one. The presenter was dancing and cheering, and we were up and doing all this stuff. That will not be happening here because I don't do that, and I don't think any of us really do that publicly. But you're in for a real treat. So that's not working. No. Oh, there we go. So you're here for Small Town, Big Ideas, Fostering Lion Pride. So our attributes are pride. So the ladies in the back, Adrienne and Laura, two of teachers at Hoover, they have Lion Pride tickets. And while we are doing our presentation this afternoon, they're going to be handing out Lion Pride tickets. We will have a raffle at the end for anyone that is showing Lion Pride. And we'll get into what that is, but those are our expectations or our rules that our students can tell you about if you walk into any of our buildings. So again, I'm Eileen Zarnecki. I'm the K-2 principal.
Hello, I'm Sandy Fowler. I'm the principal at Eisenhower, which is grades 3 through 5.
Hi, I'm Jenny Guilfoyle, and I'm the district K-12 PBIS coach.
Hi, I'm Kelly Collingsworth, first grade teacher and K-2 Hoover PBIS coach.
Hi, my name is Katie. I am the school counselor at Eisenhower, which is our grades 3 to 5 building.
And then Brad Zangle is our 3 to 5 PBIS coach, and he can't be here today with us. He was kind of our leader of this whole day. All right, so that's a picture of our Hoover team, and then you can go to the Eisenhower team. These are our core teams, and our core teams consist of all of the people that are in this room that are presenting, along with our school psychologist, the K-2 counselor, our reading specialist. We have a classroom rep or a grade level rep from each grade level in our buildings also on our team. And then we also have subcommittees. So at the K-2 level, we've kind of branched out and created subcommittees, and I believe they're doing that at the 3 to 5 as well, so that all staff have a piece and a part of our PBIS program in our school. Yes, and we meet monthly. Sometimes more than that, though, especially if we have big things going on. Our subcommittees meet monthly, and then our core team also meets monthly. I did that. All right.
All right, so we just want to thank you all for joining us today as we talk about our adventures in involving our community in our PBIS program. We hope that you get some new ideas today, and we are anxious to hear if anybody has any ideas to share with us at the end too. So on this slide, you'll see we have some pictures from our PBIS kickoff at the beginning of the year. We have our lion mascot, which is typically a staff member who so graciously volunteers to sweat to death at our kickoff wearing the mascot uniform. The dog you see there is Detective Gibbs. He is our facility dog or resource dog. And then we also have our assistant superintendent and superintendent there as well. So you can see we have really good attendance at our PBIS kickoff each year. Demographics of our district. We are a pretty small district. Hoover Elementary, which is our K-2 building, we have approximately 280 students. And then at Eisenhower, which is grades 3 through 5, we have just shy of 300 students. We are located in Cumberland County, and as I said, we're a pretty small district, as you can see by the numbers reflected here just for our K through 5 students. We like to include this just to show you that this has not been an overnight process. The Hoover Lion Pride or Eisenhower Lion Pride, those all started in the early 2000s. So back before Eisenhower was even in existence, there was another school called Schaefer, and the faculty in those buildings developed Pride, which is the tenets of what we do. You can see throughout the years, they developed a Lion Pride song. Then they worked on selecting students each month who were recognized for Lion Pride. In 2014, they introduced Lion Pride stickers, which we still give out today at Hoover. And then at that point in 2016, they introduced the PBIS cohort, and you can see it's just been development over the years, but we're looking at over a 20-year process at this point in the district to get PBIS to where it is now. This is Lion Pride. This is what all of our students learn the whole way through school. So K through 12, any of our students should be able to tell you what these things are because it is actually specifically taught in lessons in the classroom. It's also taught in the cafeteria. There are recess lessons. There are lessons about how to have Lion Pride in the bathroom and what that looks like. Thankfully, we don't have to do that quite as much as the kids get older, but I know at Hoover there are specific lesson plans for those things. And in any of those settings, you can see here what these things mean. So a positive attitude. So choosing to see the good in things and looking for the good in each other and in situations and in themselves. Respect. That can look like personal space. So again, that's a big one in the bathroom. If there's somebody at the sink, you don't need to stand directly next to them or practically on top of them. Respect with materials, making sure that we're using them the correct way and that we're not coloring on desks or destroying materials. Encouraging each other, complimenting each other, those all fall under respect. We also have integrity. That means, making smart choices, apologizing, owning our mistakes, and being honest. Diversity, having an open mind. We want our students to be open to new things. That looks different in a lot of different situations. We have a student right now that we have a plan that we're working on with him, and his goal for diversity is just to try one new activity because he has a really hard time with that. And so that's what diversity means for him right now, is being willing to try a new activity. And then we have excellence, which means be your best self in any situation. So participate, make sure that you're doing the best that you can, regardless of who's there, who's watching, who's around. That's what excellence means. And like I said, we teach this in a lot of different settings so that the students know what this looks like, from the classroom to the playground to the cafeteria to lunch for the middle school, high school students because they're allowed to leave our campus for lunch, things like that. Again, just to hit on, we're trying really hard to make it consistent, and we have found that this is where our students are the most successful, in that these posters are everywhere. So these posters, these pictures, were all taken in different locations. They are playground, there's hallway, cafeteria, bathroom, classroom, and you can see the format of the poster is the same everywhere. What's on it may change a little bit based on what, positive attitude in the hallway may look different than positive attitude on the playground or in the bathroom or in the cafeteria. But the format is the same. And that's how our students learn this the best. And this is across both Hoover and Eisenhower, the format of these posters. So these are what the Hoover posters look like, but Eisenhower looks different. We use that format the whole way across the district. I'm going to turn it over to Kelly to talk about more at Hoover.
Hello. So just to give you a little more background, when we say Hoover and Eisenhower, our schools are about a mile apart. We are a walking district. There is no busing. So we have students K to 2 over at Hoover, 3 to 5 over at Eisenhower, and our high school, middle school is actually in the middle of both of them, which is important for later as we talk about getting together and trying to build a community of K to 5, because it's a little tricky because the kids are not in the same building, but it's the same families. So just wanted to give you that little preview because you'll see something coming up later as we talk about the community. So at Hoover, K to 2, this is how the students get their recognition. Instead of handing out tickets like we're doing today, when we were trying to figure out what to do, we're like a 6-year-old with a ticket. They're walking in the cafeteria. What am I doing with it? Hold this for me, right? That's what they're going to be saying. So we got stickers. We actually borrowed that from another district that we saw. And so they have a sticker that they get for the first time. But we want our kids to do Lion Pride all day long. They go to the Reading Academy or they go to the cafeteria, and we involve our whole staff. So we wanted them to be able to get more than one Lion Pride. Well, the first year, they're wearing them everywhere. You can just imagine. So we were like, that doesn't work. So then we called booster paws. So you get a booster paw added on each time that you do something well. So our kids will come back from our Reading Academy, which is our Title I, and they'll come back and they'll go, I got 3 booster paws. And I'm like, awesome. And then they get to go over and they get to put a stamp on their tens frames. Got to get that math in there, and it really helps. They really early on, they start going, I only need 6 more. They're like subitizing and counting by tens. It's awesome. So that's how they get recognized at Hoover. And then they take their tens frames, cut them off, and they can get something from our school store, which we'll talk a little bit later. But just kind of wanted to see what they do at school so you can see how we're going to connect that to the community later.
Okay, and I'm really quickly going to show you how we reward positive behavior at Eisenhower. So our students are a little bit older, so this is more developmental for them. You can see those tickets that some of you may have already been handed. The ones you're getting are one-sided, either the front or the back of our ticket, but normally they're two-sided, and students see on the front they put their name, their grade, and what teacher gave them that ticket. And on the back, they check off what their ticket was earned for, whether it was positive attitude, respect, integrity, diversity, or excellence. So that's what they look like. They can earn a white ticket from any adult in the building, their specials teachers, their homeroom teacher. They can earn a pink ticket. This was a new development because we were seeing some issues with behavior at recess. If they get a pink recess ticket, it's worth $2 in our school store. And then they can even earn a golden ticket from our principal. Each week, a student in each grade is nominated as our golden ticket winner. And the golden ticket is worth, Dr. Fauser, 10 tickets in the School Pride store. So those were just some ways we built off of our basic ticket system. Students are able to take those tickets and spend them at our school store, which is new this year. It's helpful in a lot of different ways. Learning about spending money, counting, budgeting, things like that. Some of our students blow all their tickets on the clearance bin as soon as they get them. Some of them save up. Yes, we do have a clearance bin. Some of them do save up and get some of our bigger prizes. They can even earn prizes with adults. I love doing Gaga Ball with our students. I learned about it last year. Fun game, gets a little competitive. But they can purchase some time with me to play Gaga Ball with some friends and things like that, which are also free. So that's been really helpful. All right, this is a little bit more about our rewards from Jenny.
So Katie already talked a little bit about what the school store looks like at Eisenhower. It's somewhat similar at Hoover, and we enacted that because initially it was drawings. So students could enter their names into drawings, but we found that we had students who were earning tons and tons of tickets, but they weren't necessarily getting anything tangible for that throughout the year because it was essentially a lottery system once they turned their name in. So we introduced a school store at the same time at both buildings, which was really nice. And at Hoover, they spend their tens frames, so everything is priced in terms of tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, I think we go up to 100 right now. And we also have a clearance bin. Our reading academy, our reading specialist, she is sort of our roar store is what we call it, our point person. She tracks what's being purchased. She tracks what needs purchase or what needs ordered, but she also tracks what's not selling, and we'll mark that down because we don't know, did we make that too expensive? Is it not actually that valuable to the students, so we need to make it cheaper, or is it something that's not that valuable? Sometimes she will create mystery bags, things that have been in the store for a while. She'll put a couple items in one mystery bag and sell that for like 20 Paul stamps. And the kids love mystery bags. It's been a big hit. We also do drawings. So once they spend their tens frames at Hoover, they can then place those into one of two buckets. So there's the activity bucket, and there is a picture and a description of what the activity is. And then there's also a with an adult bucket, and there's a picture and a description of that. So kids can choose, once they spend it, they go into one of those buckets. And then there's a monthly drawing. Typically, we choose a handful of students for each one. So there is still a little bit of a lottery concept to it, but they are entering that after getting something tangible with their Paul stamps. Similar at Eisenhower, their tickets can go into drawings. They have activities as well. There's some examples here, things like school-wide reward assistant, giving out 5 tickets, being first in line at lunch. And then there's also the with an adult. They do a lot of sports activities at Eisenhower. It seems that the students really like those. So things like kickball, soccer, can jam. I know Dr. Fauser, the principal there, sometimes does sports activities with the students too. It's like a special activity that they can choose. Puppy playtime, where some of the staff members bring in their dogs to the courtyard, and students that want to put in their tickets for that can get drawn out to then have puppy playtime. They do that a couple times a year, and that's a huge hit. The students really, really love that. The nice thing about a lot of these things, as well as the ones at Hoover, is that they don't cost anything to do these activities or these with an adult, or if they do, they cost very minimal because we already have the materials, or there's no materials involved, or staff are bringing their dogs to work, or it's a sporting activity. So these are really nice ideas for things that are low budget or zero cost altogether.
Okay, so now that you have the background of what these children are doing at school, they're trying to earn their tickets, trying to earn their 10 frames so they can go to the store. But then again, I said that our schools are separate. We want to build a school community, which each of our schools has a great community, but we wanted to build it even more. So last year we decided we're doing the same concepts. Let's get our schools together for our kickoff. So we started with getting together for our kickoff. So we had Eisenhower, which is about a mile, walk down to Hoover. And then we were like, how could we even get our high school included? Because they're both our middle school and high school are PBIS schools as well. So we brought back some high schools. Last year we used athletes and from different sports, and we had them come back, and the K-2 students and the 3-5 students were all there, and they watched the high schoolers participate in activities. They were like little sporting events, but they P for positive attitude, and the high schoolers would talk about why they needed a positive attitude for the game they were doing or the activity, and how they have to use it in their lives as high schoolers. So it really made a neat connection, and we really liked it. But then we're trying to get student input. We want to know what's important. And they told us, well, it was fun, and we did it again for the end of the year, but they said, we want to do something too. We don't want to just watch. So this year, what am I hitting? Thanks. So this year, we kept the concept of the 3-5 building coming down and the high schoolers, and to make it more inclusive, we also asked for some volunteers from the music department. We actually did that last year, and they were busy, but so this year they were able to come, and we got some people who were on our mini-thon committee, so we tried to get more diverse students, and there were stations, and so we were bringing all of our schools together, and each station had one for positive attitude, one for respect. And the high schoolers led the stations, talked a little bit about it, and then they passed out stickers. So they even passed the stickers out to the Eisenhower kids. We had to explain, when you get back to Eisenhower, every sticker or booster paw counts for one of your tickets too, because they were afraid they were just getting something that the little kids got. But it all worked out, and it was so neat. As you can just see, I think this picture shows it all. One of our senior athletes who's well respected, and the little guy was just kindergarten, was like in awe, and they are doing a Go Noodle dance party right there at that time. So I think it really brought our school community together. Again, it's harder when they're not in the same building. So those were our kickoff, and again we did end of the year wrap up. This time, the younger kids walked to the other school. So that was a little different. By the end of the year, they were the big kids walking. So we haven't planned this year's yet, but I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to be doing again. And again, this was just a little bit of our demographics. We are only 2.13 square miles, and our schools go like that. So here's our question. How do we take all of that and tie it into this community? Again, we're only 2 square miles. We've got our schools kind of lined up. How do we bring the whole community together and get this Lion Pride that we've been doing, we think, a pretty good job in the schools? But how do we get that to the parents? How do we get that to have these kids showing it in the community? As you heard, we have open lunch. Our middle schoolers and high schoolers can go. Actually, our elementary older kids go on their own, and they can go to our local pizza place, or they can go out to lunch, and that's just the way it is. And it can be scary. We were actually having to talk about it at lunch, but so what can we do as PBIS schools to help our community understand and help foster Lion Pride everywhere?
All right, so what we started out with really last year is with the school stores is drawing in parent involvement, and that's sort of how we kicked off the community piece. So we reached out to parents to have them volunteer to come in and essentially run our school store. That was twofold. One, to get parent involvement, two, because it's really unrealistic to ask the school staff to man the school store when there's a shopping day, because they already have 10,000 duties that they need to take care of. And we really didn't want to put one more thing on staff members' plates. So we really have been very fortunate that we've had parents in both schools that are willing to come in. They run the school store. They're in there to help the students. They take the payment of the stickers and stamps and tickets. We've also reached out for parent donations for our school store. I'm sure you can imagine it can get pretty pricey if we are stocking that store completely out of the school budgets. So we ask for donations. We've created an Amazon wish list, and so parents can order off of that wish list and have it shipped to the store. We've also accepted very gently used toys, items. Kids go crazy over stuff, whether it was used by somebody else previously or not, as long as it's in good shape. So we've been very careful about, we sort through those donations and make sure that things are clean. If we get stuffed animals, we run them through the washing machine and the dryer to make sure that they're sanitized. But we've received a lot of donations between the Amazon wish list and then parents sending in things that, hey, I've got an older kid and they don't play with this anymore. Do you want it for the school store? We also have a PBIS spirit store, which I will talk about on another slide here, and then our Lion Pride magnets. And we've been collaborating with local businesses to have them display Lion Pride in their stores. So we have little window stickers, but also we have been providing Lion Pride posters that they can place in their business somewhere that it's easily visible to people coming in. And we are awarding reinforcement to students who are showing Lion Pride while their family is in the business or while they're in that business. So to start out, we realized we need to explain to these businesses how we acknowledge positive behavior, because we couldn't just go in and say, hey, do you want to help us do Lion Pride? They're going to look at us and think we have no idea what you're talking about. So we created a letter that we distributed at the businesses that we wanted to collaborate with first, that explained what Lion Pride is and how it works, and then why we want to do it. So what's the benefit to them, which was essentially promoting positive student behavior in their businesses. So they don't have kids coming in running amok or making messes, things like that. And the businesses that we chose were ones that we thought students would visit pretty frequently, or ones that we had heard there were potential behavior issues when students were out in the community. So that's how we chose which ones we targeted. After students get the tickets, we also provided them with special blue tickets. So if you remember, Eisenhower has special colored tickets, and we took that idea and put that into the community. So community tickets are always printed on the same light blue paper so that it's very clear that this is a community ticket. The tickets also have the business name on them so that we can track where they're coming from, which businesses are handing them out, how many are they handing out, just to make sure that there aren't any issues popping up anywhere, which there have been, and we'll talk about that later. Students then bring the tickets in. They are worth 2 tickets at the school store at Eisenhower. So when they bring that in, they exchange that for 2 regular tickets, or they can spend it like it's 2 tickets. And at Hoover, it's worth 110 frame. So they bring that in and then exchange it for 110 frame that they can then spend at the school store. So there is incentive for the students to bring those tickets in because it equates to more that they can spend at their school store then. This is an example of our community connection letter. So you can see here, this is the FAQs. What do I do if I need more tickets? It lets them know what to do. Who can you contact? We actually included my contact info because I'm K through 12. So It just sort of made sense to put me on there. Questions: is it okay if I give a ticket to a student who doesn't go to Camp Hill? This is something that we talked about a lot when we were developing this program, because obviously students from other communities may come in and frequent these businesses too. So we said, sure, it's just a way to show appreciation for good behavior. We don't want them having to stop and ask kids, wait, before I give you this ticket, do you go to Camp Hill? Oh, you don't? Sorry, you can't have this. We said, just hand it out. Make sure that you say, I love how you did A, B, and C, and that's what this ticket is for. What if a kid asks for a ticket? And we made sure that we clarified that tickets are meant to be earned. They should not be coming in and asking for them. They should be earned. And giving them pointers on what to do when they give someone a ticket, and then what do the students do with the ticket, and then how will this help me? So we gave out this FAQ to our participating businesses so that they had this handy. Some of our cooperating businesses, we had the Camp Hill pool this summer. We had some staff members who work at the pool over the summer, and they handed out tickets there. We have Roberto's Pizza Shop, which is a place that a lot of our students go for lunch with our open campus, and we had found out that there were some issues there sometimes with students not cleaning up their plates and their cups after lunch, because it's one of those places you go in, you order, they give you your food, you go sit down, and then you throw your stuff away before you leave. And some of our secondary students were letting things sit on the tables or making messes and not cleaning them up. So that was one of the reasons we chose Roberto's. We chose the Frederickson Library, which is our local library in town. It's very popular. A lot of our young students go there for library programs to check out books. They're there a lot with their families. And then a recent addition is Appalachian Running Company. They have partnered with our elementary run club, and they are now going to be handing out tickets as well, which is great that we're adding more businesses. So you can see here is a picture of the actual poster at Roberto's. You can see that they added at the bottom their own rule or expectation, which was keep Roberto's pizza clean, please. So again, it just solidifies that yes, there was an issue with students cleaning up after themselves, and we loved it that they took it upon themselves to add an extra rule or expectation there for the students that was even more specialized to their location. In the middle there, you see an example of a ticket. So these start out white, but we print them on blue paper, so they are blue. But you can see it says Roberto's Pizza supports Lion Pride. And then on the right are the window stickers that we give the businesses. It's kind of like a window cling that they can put in the front window of their business so that when people are out and about in town, they're able to see, oh, hey, this is a business that's supporting my school, supporting Lion Pride. Maybe we'll stop in here.
So in addition to the businesses that are partnering with us, we're starting to open up to our community youth sports programs as well. So Camp Hill Soccer Club, that's not affiliated with our school at all. It's just the local youth soccer organization, and they have adopted Lion Pride into their practice. They even have the tenets of Lion Pride outlined on their website, and they review Lion Pride at their practices. They can begin to give out tickets, and of course there's opportunity for that to extend into other sports, swimming, softball, basketball, even our theater programs and things like that. So students are seeing this when they're out with their families in the community. They're seeing it at their after school activities. They know everybody's on the same page. The expectations are always the same, and we think that makes them so much more powerful. So I think Kelly's going to talk to you more about how we're partnering with families that they can use Lion Pride at home.
First, here's just a quick little picture of some of our elementary students who came back after the summer with some of their tickets. The library did an amazing job when they had story time with Officer Gibbs the dog and other things, and they got these tickets. The first time one of the little ones comes in and goes, "Look, I got this at the library," and you handed them a 10 frame and they were allowed to stamp the whole thing. Everyone's face was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, that's what I," and then someone had a couple, they're like, "Oh, well, that was one of the prizes you could choose." I got a feeling it's going to be a little more popular next year, because now they see that you can carry that over, and one little girl got a stuffed animal the first week at school for the first time she shopped. She had 10 of those tickets that felt So they were very excited to come and hold up their tickets. And as you can see, right now we just had 2 community places, but that'll expand as the year goes on. Another thing that we did at Hoover was to help the parents bring Lion Pride into the home. We had a number of parents say, I wish they would do that at home. I wish they would show Lion Pride at home. So we developed this little calendar, and on the back is a letter that explains what Lion Pride is and some ways that could be shown at home. So we started this 2 years ago, and it's definitely been a work in progress. We started with the whole month. It was too much. They didn't bring it back. So now we're at 2 weeks. And if you do something at home, or if your parents see you do something in the community that you are doing well and you are showing Lion Pride, you can color one in. And if you bring it back with 10 out of 14 colored in, then you get 5 Lion Prides, because it's half a month. 5 Lion Pride stickers or stamps. So that's been one way that has parents have said, thank you. That was really easy. I could put up on their, and I can just put Lion Pride, and they're like, I had one little boy a couple weeks ago. He's like, oh, I didn't get one that day because I didn't show Lion Pride all day. And someone else says, well, you only have to show it one time to color it in. And he's like, not at my house. And I was like, same. In my house, you wouldn't have been getting it either. But you know, it gives some parents some flexibility, but also gives them just a little tool that connects to school. Okay, before we go to this, I just want to add one last thing. We are always trying new things, and last week, all of a sudden, a staff member had an idea. What about trick or treat coming up? Is there a way we could just connect with the community and involve parents? So a letter went home with orange tickets for our K-2 and parents were told that there's a nice little letter that went and said, if you have a student come up to your house and is extra polite, why don't you give them one of these orange tickets? You can give your own child one, but the other kids. And so we don't know what happened because today's the day they would be coming back. So there's either a ton of orange tickets or no one did it. We'll find out when we get back next week.
So there's some ways also at Eisenhower, our 3 to 5 building, that we're working on helping parents implement Lion Pride at home and just use some of those tenets of PBIS to help make their home a more peaceful place. So at our back to school night this year, we're starting small. We just provided some resources. So this, on the other side of this slide here, is what we handed out to them. It's just the basics of PBIS that they would need to create a short list of expectations, give students examples of what that looks like in all the different parts of their home and parts of their routine. And then we gave them some templates that they could copy, a Google Doc that they could just make a copy of and personalize it for their home. So this is just an example. If they didn't want to use Pride, they could create their own family expectations. So the example on here is help out, own your behavior, and manners count. And it mirrors our behavior matrix that we have at school in each of our different settings across the school, the bathroom, the hallway, at recess. It mirrors that, so they have all their different family activities and what each of those expectations look like in each of those settings. So that was an option for them. We also created for them a way that they could use our expectations at home. So on that other side, we have positive attitude, respect, integrity, diversity, and excellence. And then some situations they may be in at home and what our Lion Pride would look like in their settings at home. So if you wanted to, this is linked, I believe, on our presentation. If you wanted to use this, you could put in your school's expectations and kind of modify that to provide for your families and parents. And lastly, we also gave them kind of a reward chart that they could use that mirrors what some of our behavior charts look like at school. So that students can earn some privileges at home when they are meeting expectations at home. Okay.
All right, some of the other ways that we have connected with the community. So our kindergartners go out for a walking field trip early in the year. They visit the police station, Borough Hall, the library, and typically a local Camp Hill business. And these are just pictures of our kindergartners out and about at these businesses. Something that we did to help fund some of our school store purchases, we did a magnet sale. So we had 2 versions of a magnet that we sold at concerts, at open houses. They were $5 a piece. I believe we made $2.50 off of each magnet. So it was just a way to put a little bit more into our funds for our school stores. Something else that we did a community Lion Pride clothing sale. So this was open to anybody who had the link. This wasn't just students, just staff, just families. It was anybody that wanted to purchase. We had logos that were designed by staff members, and then we could order them on different colored shirts. You could get ones that said Hoover Elementary on them or Eisenhower Elementary on them if you wanted to. And we've had this open for about a year, just shy of a year, and we're looking at changing up the designs. There's actually been some emails going around with some new designs to sort of refresh interest, even though we are still getting some orders coming in occasionally for this. It is a website that stays open all the time, and the items are made to order when they come in. It takes, I think, a 2 to 3 week turnaround time. But we used a local business for that as well. And that's been another way for us to just gain support. The students love having Lion Pride gear to wear. The parents enjoy it as well. The kids really love it if they come in and they have on a shirt that happens to match their teacher that day. They're like, oh my gosh, look, we're twins. Because everybody can order from the same thing.
We've connected with the community for some of our school-wide rewards as well. On the picture over there, you can see our elementary Hoover principal, Mrs. Arnecki, and you can see when this was, because this was when we had our masks on. And that's our superintendent, and they were up in a fire truck. The fire department brought the fire truck, and the students had done an egg drop challenge as a reward. Each class developed a container, like a STEM challenge. And so we had the fire department there, which they come to teach fire safety too, but this was a different way to include them that just showed them in like diversity, a different way. And we've had book bag tags for students so that they can keep those when they're walking around the community. And we're trying to get the community in more ways to be part of our rewards. We do lots of blue and white days. Actually, every Monday is Blue and White Day at Hoover, and you can see the variety of Lion Pride shirts there. You can it's just everywhere, and it's just evasive through the schools, and I think it really has the students thinking about it all the time. And some of us have these shirts on today. All the staff got one year, the same one, so that was pretty cool. And there's a picture of Eisenhower. And they do blue and white on Mondays as well. And Wednesdays. Yeah, we do it Wednesdays too. And you can see Dr. Fauser here actually has her version in pink. All right, so we have a parent testimonial. Hopefully we'll be able to hear it. Let's see. How do I just click it?
We keep the Lion Pride calendar on the fridge as a constant reminder to have a positive attitude. Maybe we're having something for dinner that's not your favorite, and their first reaction is, oh, and so we remind them to come to the dinner table with a positive attitude. Yes. My boys earned tickets at Roberto's because they were very polite while they were in the restaurant and remembered their good manners. I was very proud to come home and show me how many stickers and boosters they earned each day, and they're always very excited about the Roar store. Even my kindergartner knew all about the Roar store before he got to kindergarten and couldn't wait to earn his Lion Pride stickers and go shopping for his rewards.
All right, so that was just a testimonial from a parent that we had at Hoover for you to be able to hear what their viewpoint of Lion Pride in the community and in the home is. We absolutely have to talk about challenges and next steps. So it's been really difficult, in all honesty, incorporating the K through 12 community. Our buildings, even though we are a very small district, run on slightly different schedules. They each start 10 minutes. It's a staggered 10-minute start, starting first with secondary to Eisenhower to Hoover. So it's been really difficult to find time when all staff can meet. We do have representatives from every building on our K through 12 community committee. But again, finding time for all of those folks to meet is really difficult because by the time the Hoover staff are arriving, the secondary staff already have students in their classroom and they're teaching. By the time the Hoover staff are done at the end of the day with dismissal and have no more students, the high school staff are getting ready to leave. So that's a challenge that we have run into that we're still trying to figure out. We've also run into some issues with community locations, understanding how and when to distribute tickets. We have had some issues with students coming in with a dozen or 2 dozen tickets saying, my dad asked if I could have a bunch and they just gave him a bunch for me. Or we bought 3 things, so they gave us 3 tickets. Totally not the point of the program. We're not trying to encourage them to just buy more at these locations. So those are some things that we have been trying to work through and troubleshoot, and I can't say that we have 100% figured out yet. So we'll get there. We're just trying to figure that out. The other thing we have run into is maintaining the supply of tickets to our community locations. We talked about having a point person do it for each location or from each building, but people get busy, things happen. We did choose people who live in the community as well to try to make it easier, but again, things come up. It's hard to remember to stop in. It's hard to figure out when do they need more, what's an appropriate number for them to have, who's going to print and cut out the tickets. So those are things that we're still working through right now that are challenges or next steps, things to figure out.
We've also had some challenges connecting with our after-school care program. I know lots of elementary schools have after-school, before-school care programs that are run by organizations not affiliated with the school. And we get reports from students of incidents going on at those programs that we really don't have control over and can't do all that much about. So in an effort to partner with them and connect with them, we provided them with a handbook having to do with our Lion Pride of what our expectations are. We've had issues with, well, we're allowed to sit at the very top of, let me try to find it, these bars at after school care, but we're not allowed to do that at recess. Why not? So we're trying to align those things to make it easier both for the after school care staff and for us in different situations, but it hasn't quite come through yet. So that's something else that we're working on, is how we can partner with them a little bit better to make it consistent before school, after school, and during school. Yes, the programs are in our building, so they're using our facilities, our playground, our bathrooms, all those things, and it can be confusing for our students when the expectations are different after school versus when they're in school with their teachers. So we are going to give some time for questions, but if you received a Lion Pride ticket, please put your name on that ticket and make your way to somebody who's going to hold a bag that you can put it in. Does anyone have any questions for us? In the back, go ahead.
Do you ever have the businesses do the reverse, where if the kids bring their ticket to them, there's something like they get like 10% off their meal or something? Like, does it
that's a
ever
great
go,
idea.
I'm thinking like if you're old enough to remember Pizza Hut Book It, like if they earned so many, there would be something at the business for them.
Yeah, the question was actually a very good suggestion. It was, do we ever do the reverse? If a Lion Pride ticket is brought to a business, they get something from the business. No, we don't, but we'll write that down. That's a great idea. Any other questions? Go ahead. The question was, do we ever get students who come in and have all their pause completed on their calendar, but we don't really believe that that really happened?
Absolutely. And you can see the ones that are, colored carefully with the parents. But we talked about it, and the idea is that the students care about Lion Pride and they want to do the right thing. So if they did it at home or not, we just like on the playground, we don't know exactly what happened over there, but we encourage them. We're happy you're doing Lion Pride at home. Keep showing it at school. And we worked with some parents for some kids that, you sat down like, they're showing you this, and they're like, oh, not really. But integrity, we try to talk about integrity, and we use the, wow, you did such a great job. I can't wait to email your mom and tell them what a great job you did. Well, I don't think my mom's home today. And then you can have that discussion.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Where is the store? The space and
Yeah, where is the store? So for the 3 to 5 building, it's in our multi-purpose morning announcements room, storage room, meet with students here room, and we just have it in the cabinets and things in there. Do we have a picture? I don't think we have a picture. But it's all kind of closed up during the day, and it's in little bins in the cabinets that we open up when it's store time, and all the bins are labeled with how much things are. And then Hoover.
So at Hoover, we are very tight on space. So we got creative, and we have this very small office that if I put a staff member in that office, they would probably quit. So we converted it. At one point in time, it was going to be a sensory space, but that didn't really pan out because it's really small. So that's where our school store is, and there's literally a door on it, and we open it up, and it's not even big enough for 2 adults and 2 kids to shop. So we kind of bleed into the hallway when we have the school store open, but it's right by our cafeteria too. So there's a little bit more space in the hallway at that point, but that's where we are right now. It's twice a month. Yep. And once a month at 3 to 5. Oh, once a week, sorry. Yep.
And even though we were saying how small, ours is literally at Hoover this big, but outside we have a big thermometer that's rising up, counting our Lion Pride tickets that are being collected towards our whole school goal, and there's pictures of the monthly rewards. So it's small, but they love it. They don't see it as a closet. They see it as their roar store. They made posters and everything.
We had another question.
I just want to know how the students that were on the committee got picked, your grade level.
How our students who talked about that? How our students on the committee got picked.
So at Hoover, we did that towards the end of last year, and it was kind of determined by the class and the teacher. And then I believe the teachers kind of voted, or the kids voted in the class of who would be their rep. And I only met with 1st and 2nd grade students because our kindergartners are only there for a half a day. But I will tell you the input that they provided. I mean, can we get sushi gift cards? And we really want Longhorn Steakhouse, coupons, and so quite interesting things that as adults we wouldn't think that they really wanted, and they were really into. I don't know at Eisenhower how they're selected, but I know it's student selected, yeah.
And then
Sorry.
one more question. Did you say that every teacher in the building is on the subcommittee?
So the question is, every teacher, every staff member on a subcommittee? Yes. So at Hoover, we give them choice. So we have it broken down by our celebrations, our incentives, community involvement, lesson plans, like our matrix and all of that. And we meet monthly for that. Instead of having a traditional faculty meeting, that's what we do. Yep. And it's just you go to your subcommittee, and we started off where it was you could pick every month that you wanted to go, which one you wanted to do. We have a data team as a part of one of the subcommittees, and we ended up not having representation everywhere, so we kind of said, okay, pick one, and then that's what you're with for the year. But every year we change it. So yes, so we're going to start pulling tickets, but I wanted to explain, we have these cookies from one of our businesses. So Tanya's Cookie Boutique in Camp Hill, if you ever visit Camp Hill, really good. It's Tanya is an aunt of some Camp Hill students, and she designed this cookie for our kindergarten field trip. So when the students visited her business, on the walking field trip, this is what they got as like, okay, here's how I make the cookies, this is what it looks like, and then here's the finished product. So she took our Camp Hill logo and printed it on the cookie. So some lucky winners in the audience will get one.
Lauren, Love, and Kim Kenworthy.
Lauren, Love, Kim Kenworthy.
Maylin Masser. Marlon Lux. Ashley Sealand. Did you get Ashley? Emily B. Della Bell. Bridget Larby. Okay. Alicia Stewart. Gabby Lechner. Chris Morris. Noah Allegretta. The last three are Starbucks gift cards. Kim Kenworthy.
She got 2 tickets.
Denise Shugart. And Mark Hamilton. Old staff member.
So we have a copy of our presentation if you want to scan the QR code. Yeah, we had to make a couple little changes. So this is our most up-to-date.
If anyone else has questions, we'll be around. But that's the end from us. Thank you.